Satya actually came up with this idea of a water cup where you actually make villages compete. And we felt that this is a model which can scale up over the years to get more and more people involved. A bit like Telematch. I don't know whether you've seen Telematch. When we were kids, there used to be this program called Telematch, which used to be shown on Doordarshan, which was these German villages competing with each other, and there was fun and games in that. And so we thought, what if we do something like that and make it fun for the villagers to take part in something that is actually very important to their lives, which is water. And that's the idea that Satya came up with, and then we built on it and we kind of created a design, and that was the most important part, creating the design.
Amir, if one were to actually look at your filmography, films like Rang De Basanti, films like Tare Zameen Par, these are films that have left their mark on audiences and taught them how to think about different issues. And in a way, Paani does something very, very similar to that. What are the sort of big learnings, the big takeaways in how to teach the audience or people a lesson or make them inspired about something?
I think I would say before that is, one, people have to come together. No matter what the issue you're facing, it's only when we bring people together and they work as one cohesive team or force can you make, the needle move. So that's the first thing I think that we learned.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that we've realized is that, you have to have joy in life, no matter what you're doing. And you have to own it. So if the problem is mine, I must emotionally feel that ये मेरा problem है और मजा लेके मैं किसी और को allow करूँगा solve करने के लिए, मैं ही solve करूँगा. मेरा problem है, मैं ही solve करूँगा. वो जो जज्बा which you have to create is a very important aspect of, when you own the problem, you own the solution as well, and you want to be a part of that.
Describe Mr. Ratan Tata in one word.
Kind.
One trait that you have displayed perhaps to have had this journey at the Tata Group.
Curiosity.
Talking about inspirational entrepreneurs, name some for us.
Bhavish Agarwal is definitely one of them.
One word for 70 hours working week comment.
Personal choice.
As a millennial, one word for social media.
That's a tough one.
Silence, that's what I'm getting. One word for AI.
Responsibility again. The idealization culture is what is the issue. So we always want someone else to give us the answer that how many hours should I be working, and then someone who you look up to says these many hours you should be working, and then you want to follow just that.
The person joining us next, his designation is that of a general manager at Tata, but his identity largely is that of a social entrepreneur. He is an author, he is also a singer, but the one thing you know him most for is being Mr. Tata's millennial friend. Shantanu, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us. Is that a fair introduction to what your life is?
Heavier than what I would like, but fair.
Okay.
Nice to be here.
Shantanu, I'm quite intrigued by the different projects that you've been picking up, working with the Tata Trust. It is about, older people, lonely people at one hand. It is about strays and dogs the other. At a time, you're what, 30, right?
Yeah, 31.
You're 31. You're almost my age, and this is the age of a lot of entrepreneurs and startup owners as well. At a time when you have an entire generation which is looking at valuation, startups, and doing path-breaking stuff at AI, what keeps bringing you back to this social entrepreneurship, or to do more for others than actually your bank balance?
I think entrepreneurship is the pursuit of picking a problem and solving it. Picking a really tough problem and solving it, and all the profitable startups, and kudos to them for having done what they have. They have picked a problem, they've solved it successfully and made it profitable, which is a very successful enterprise, which is something I really respect and appreciate. For me personally, picking that particular problem to solve has always been about a problem that resonates with me on an emotional level, on a value system level. That is the only incentive that allows me to try and solve it. So I might identify a profitable problem, but it just doesn't excite me as much to chase it as a problem that has visible positive impact on communities. So the valuations entrepreneurship and the breakneck ecosystem that we have should exist and should thrive, and it is an important and integral part of our Indian youth, our economy in the future. But as far as social entrepreneurship is concerned, it's just a personal thing that I just need to pick a problem where I can see communities getting impacted positively.
Congratulations. What a fabulous movie. Everybody's talking about it. It's not just a standing ovation at, film festivals abroad, Toronto and the rest of the places, but here in India, people are talking such good things about it. Tell us, how's it been? How are you soaking it first?
It's quite unbelievable. I'm still trying to kind of accept it. You know how it is, there's so much self-doubt when you're an artist, when you make something and you're like, really? Did you really like it? And people have sent me clips of people clapping in the cinema after watching the film. And it's so wonderful actually. The response has been I'm so grateful. It's been great. I'm soaking up lots of love.
But you also took so long
Yeah.
to
I did.
finally do this.
Yeah.
So you're a screenwriter, you're a director, you're a producer, and all of it sort of came together with Laapataa ladies as well.
Yeah.
But after Dhobi got to this, it must have been quite a pivot.
Yeah, it was a long wait, honestly, to find the right story. I feel like things fell into place when I landed on this story. It was then called Two Brides. And the story itself was so mazedar and chatpata, I really wanted to make it. I knew I wanted to change it and make it more fun and touch upon many sort of ideas and themes. But a story, when it grabs you and doesn't let go, that's the ride to enjoy. And so even though it was a long wait, we found the story in 2018, Amir found it. And I started work on it in 2020. So it's been 4 years. But when it grabs hold of you, you just go, you enjoy the ride. Really had fun.
So the movie is what? It's a tragi-comedy, right? Like, is that the genre?
Not tragedy at all, actually. Unlike most films about women getting lost or, mishaps of this kind.
Yeah.
But it's kind of more, I would say, comedy drama or dramedy, as they say these days.
Dramedy. That's a nice
more it.
word, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of emotional towards the end, but it's a really funny premise where because of a gunga, two girls get switched on a train and they go to the wrong place and
मेरा नाम भी ले जा मेरा काम भी ले जा मेरा राम भी ले जा मेरा शाम भी ले जा कल रात आया मेरे घर एक चोर आके बोला दे दे मुझे जो भी तेरा है मैंने बोला मेरी जीत भी ले जा मेरी हार भी ले जा मेरा डर भी ले जा मेरा घर भी ले जा मेरे ख्वाब भी ले जा मेरे राज भी ले जा मेरा गम भी ले जा हर जख्म भी ले जा मेरी जान
Zakham bhi le ja. My God, what a rock star entry you've made, yeah, Justh.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here.
Welcome to the show.
You got such a lovely studio. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you
like
for
I
having me.
said, everybody in the newsroom, I wish I could pan the cameras and show you, is already lined up and everybody wants to know what you're doing. And like I said, the whole of India right now is dancing to your tunes. I love the fact that you're an independent artist. This is purely your music. You've released it yourself as well.
Yeah.
But for those of us who perhaps don't know,
Right.
tell me this very Kabir type lyrics, this almost poetry that has come in your music,
Right.
which has taken everybody by storm. I think that's the unique factor really, right? Like it speaks to you.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
So, first of all, like I said, it's really good to be here and thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
And specifically when I talk about the lyrics of the song, I'm very cognizant of the fact that I don't want to tell my thought process behind the song, because even right now if you see, if you just look up the YouTube comments or like Instagram reels or whatever, people are having like really intellectual and deep discussions about what the song means.
So everybody has their own version.
Everybody has their own version.
Yeah.
And to be, it might sound cocky for a person who's just like entered the game or whatever, but I see my art to have a life of its own, and I want it to survive, say, the next 500 or 1,000 years. At least that's the effort or the intent with which I'm making my music. I'm not making it for this week or for the trend of the month. So when I'm aware of that fact, and that's my intention, then it becomes even more important for me to not assign or give the world my interpretation or my meaning to the song, because then that limits the scope of the song.
Yeah.
So today,
Got it.
if
Yeah.
you have your own interpretation of the song, and I tell you, no, I thought about the song this way, then you
Yeah.
you might think that you are wrong, but that's not
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah, like I said, it's very like poetry in that case.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own version.
sure.
Varun, we'll talk about your acting also just in bit. But since we're seeing these lovely pictures of you with Ranvijay, we have to ask about the starting of your journey. He's been a sort of a big brother to you, right? And you were on roadies as well. So take us back to the very beginning.
Yes, roadies was like the beginning of everything, and I mean, very special show for me because I think that was one show that made me realize that I really enjoy being in front of the camera, not acting per se, but just like being in front of the camera. And Ranvijay Bhai was there with me all throughout. We've had similar lives, we've had similar backgrounds, and that's why he could understand where I'm coming from. Like he could understand the difficulties that I would face in the future, and that's why he was always there with me. Um, the bond grew to a point where he's literally family now, and I'm so glad that I had somebody in my life who could just guide me through everything, and not and just like be around and not let me face everything alone. Because he did it when he was here, and when he had to make a decision of not joining the army and joining this industry. Uh, he just didn't let me go through any difficulties alone, and I love that. Uh, and yeah, I mean, he's taught me one thing that if you help people, then the universe in different ways will help you. And
Comes back, yeah.
if eventually in the future I'm at a position of mentoring somebody 100%. Right now, I'm still not. Right now, I'm still the youngest brother in that group. But if in the future there's somebody who needs my help in this capacity, and I grow this close to that person 100%.
That's not entirely true, though, right? You do have someone to mentor. You just became a mama. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So actually, I became a mama for the first time when I was I was 22. I was 22. So we have a Didi in our house. Her name is Sapna Didi. She has been with us for the longest time, and she got married and she had a baby. And then I consider Samara my niece, my first niece. And then I was too young to understand what the word niece really means. And now that he is born, I realized that we have to be their friends. Like eventually in this generation, because they will have access to so many things around the world. Uh, to keep them away from a particular topic or particular thing will be very difficult. I think being their friends at a very young age will kind of solve the problem. Being soft to them, not making them scared of life, is something that I've learned over the years with Samara, and now eventually will implement that on Heat. So that's my point of view of being a mama to both my nieces. That I need to be their best friend.
Nice. So let's shift focus now from personal life to one on the screen. And the latest project, Call Me Bass, got everybody raving. Your character Prince was both adored and kind of like Ross in some way. People were drawing parallels to it. But what is your hope for how this character builds up and how this character arc shapes up in the next season?
I think Prince was really loved by everybody. And when I was doing the show, I knew that the show will do very well and all the characters will do very well. And I didn't probably see the fact that Prince will be one of the most loved characters because I was shocked by the reaction. I was absolutely blown away. I knew that the girl gang, the Behan code will work a lot. I knew like some aspects will work a lot because when you're doing the scene, when you're in the scene, you kind of figure it out. But Prince really worked. I just hope that they keep making more seasons and there.
With Control and with Call Me Babe, both of those sort of massive projects that we've seen come out in the recent past. First, tell us a little bit about both of the characters you play. Which parts of that were easy for you because you resonated? Because they're both very different characters. In fact, there is the similarity that they both are semi-villains, or at least in one case, seems like a villain, ends up to not be a villain. What parts of those characters were easy to do because you were resonating with them very easily?
With Call Me Baby, we had a person who had some sort of an ego and would kind of dominate a room and would not necessarily consider other people's opinions of him or other people's emotions over his own. That I thought would be difficult for me to do because I said, I don't know if I operate like that person. But it was so interesting because it was so freeing because I had this part of myself that could be loud and aggressive and could put people down. I just didn't express it. I don't choose to be that way in real life, but everyone has that part of themselves in their life. I think that's what I brought out, and that I thought it would be difficult, but it was actually quite easy to bring out. And I quite enjoyed like disrespecting people sometimes in certain situations, not super rudely, but what you see in the show sometimes, and I quite enjoyed the anger that he had sometimes because it came from pain. And it's this masculine thing where if you are hurt, then you lash out and you raise your voice and you say all those things and avoid the important topics.
Right.
So that actually was quite fun and easy for me to do, which I thought would be difficult. For Control, I think what was difficult was just being in this influencer zone without making it seem too corny, because every time you can always be like, hey, I'm an influencer, but also like, what is it really like, between camera on and off, right? And what is it like to find that tone?
Can I ask, our producer Asha in her research found that Ananya and you actually went to school together.
Yes.
What is it like making a film with someone who you've seen in all of those stages?
It's so crazy because you don't you can never predict the future. I don't think I was 2 years older than Ananya. She was 2 years younger. And I think obviously in school, the classes are so, the hierarchy or whatever is that you don't necessarily talk to people 2 classes above and below, right? So we didn't have that much FaceTime, but we saw each other around in school or whatever. But I don't think in my wildest dreams I would ever have looked at him and been like, hey, we're going to do 2 projects together in life. I don't think that ever occurred to me even remotely. So it's just crazy how life, turns out. I'm really, really happy for her. I think.
Do you or her, do either of you have a mental image of the other person even in school? Like, have you talked about that?
Yeah, but honestly, all I remember was that she was just like a really sweet girl, just hanging out and doing her own thing.
Friends who end up, or family members who end up watching each episode, because this is an episodic sort of show, it's not a film. Do their reactions change as each episode comes? Do they text you?
So it was really funny actually that there's a friend of mine. He basically watched it for me, and he's been like, he watches content very keenly and makes notes and all. So he was sending me notes of every episode, and the first few episodes were like, oh my god, Lyra, stop being such a beep, and like, oh my god, why are you so jealous, and what's wrong with you? And slowly that started changing, and oh okay fine, Tamara's actually sweet, oh okay fine, she's human, so I really enjoyed the writing of that because it's such an obvious choice to pit like women against each other, and especially to have them living together, to compare their lifestyles, and then just have one of them feeling like it's unfair what they've got, the lot in life. But I love that she manages to, and I think it was also a conscious choice for me that it shouldn't overshadow it shouldn't be something that it's from a person to person. It's more about like work opportunities, and when they realized that like working together on a project gave them the kind of joy that was, incomparable to other stuff, that's what sort of took over. And I like that that was the graph, and thank God for it.
Yeah, quite a character graph over there. But Niharika, very well played. Welcome to the world and a glimpse of journalism over there. And talking about a glimpse, the entire series did showcase a very competitive newsroom. But I want to draw parallels over here. Is it like that in the industry as well?
It's not really, like one thing that has been really heartwarming has been the fact that I've met a lot of my peers, who I look up to, a lot of my peers whose work I absolutely love, who have also auditioned. A lot of my friends have auditioned for the same part, and so many of them have just come to me and been like, when I didn't get it, I felt bad, but when I realized that you had gotten it, I felt really happy because it feels like it's one of us. So I feel like that's been generally the vibe of at least my peer group, the actresses in my peer group, because it really feels like there are limited resources, and so as long as we have each other's back in terms of who to get in touch with, what to do, how to go about one thing, it feels like it's easier, and especially on this set, I did go in expecting that it's going to be hard, that it's going to be dharma, and there are so many assumptions that come into your mind, and whether they're going to like pit you against each other and all of that. But I feel like I've worked with Muskan before, we've done theatre before. Ananya is just such a warm person, and Colin as the director, he at the helm of it just created such a collaborative atmosphere that there was no space for any of it.
You didn't think that you were getting the kind of credit you deserved for how long you'd been in the industry, because you've been here for more than 2 decades. Do you think all of that's changed with Scoop and the recognition, the awards it's getting?
My only thing was that after a long time of me being in this industry, I finally got what I deserved. There are 2 ways to look at it. I might just feel that, what, itne saalon ke baad, they took time to recognize my talent. Or I can be positive and I say that, okay, fine, at least I got it. At least I got the appreciation. There are a lot of people waiting, wanting to get their due, and I feel finally I've got it. Hansen sir saw that talent, that hunger, that passion in me, and he gave it to me. And one chance I got in so many years of my career span, and I proved it. I got the first chance and I proved it that, I can, which is a story driven narrative, I can carry on my shoulder. So, yes, to answer your question, the perception has changed. The way industry looks at me, it's changed. It's no longer Karishma Tanna as a glamorous hot girl.
Yeah.
It has also become Karishma Tanna is an actor, which is a very proud feeling for an actor to get that validation.
आपने reality TV भी किया है, and we don't often talk about the kind of mental strength being in front of people 24/7 with something like Bigg Boss actually needs. Can you tell us a little bit about how you stayed that strong?
I would give the credit to my childhood. I came from a Gujarati background where women were not that strong. That gave me strength that, I have to become strong. I have to become independent. I have to have my own opinions in life. And that's how the world is, unfortunately, fortunately. It worked for me. And I used to see my mother, I used to see my sister and everybody in my house to be this demure housewives, not having opinions and all that. And that kind of disturbed me. I'm like, this is not my personality, and I'm not gonna not have my opinions and not speak my mind. That gave me strength in a good way. I would take it everything very positively. Because of that, I became a stronger human being, and with that struggle, it gave me the power to be myself in reality shows. So I got a lot of trolling also that, she is too opinionated and she's too strong a personality. We are not used to it and all that. I just say one thing. If you don't have your mind, you'll not speak. If you have a mind, you will speak.
I love that. Okay, Karishma, we're going to ask you a little bit about your personal life for a second now. You live with your mother. And I have to ask you, mums, living with mothers can be such a lovely experience. You have someone to love you all the time. But sometimes there's also a lot of advice coming in from them. So what's the secret to your relationship, keeping it peaceful, keeping it lovely?
See, as you just said, that they give you too much advice. The secret behind my relationship with my mother is she doesn't give me too many advices. So that's very good for me. Because she's a woman of few words. Hardly, I have to literally put words in her mouth. I have to tell her, Mama, speak up. She doesn't speak at all. She's a very introvert, shy kind of a personality. Maybe that works because I'm opposite of her. If we both were like, yeah, yep, then nothing, nobody could have heard anything. So, yeah, I mean, what I get from my mother is the patience what she has, the power of taking all the struggles and yet becoming a powerful woman.
Had to define yourself and tell the world what you do, what would you say?
I'm attempting to be the platform for people to express their creative talent, regardless of who you are, where you're from. You could be a housewife in Bareilly, you could be a budding actor, you could be a gym instructor, you could be a musician, you could be a comic. I believe that I'm endeavoring to build a platform where I make your dreams come true of making you a content creator for life. So, I mean, in a nutshell, it's what I guess taxi aggregation did for drivers, and they brought them all to a formalized economy. I'm trying to see if I can do that for content creation at large, using technology, entertainment, and media.
So what is India watching? What is going viral? What kind of content is really attracting people?
I would say, when people meet me saying, "Bhai, mera content viral bana." Or when advertisers meet, they say, "How do we make our content viral?" If you look at any piece of content that's gone viral, I don't think anybody who made it with that intention in the first place.
Yeah.
Virality is not a product of number of views. Virality is a product of the number of right views. There's a difference. एक होता है कि 100 करोड़ लोग ने देख लिया, register किसने किया? लेकिन अगर 1 करोड़ लोग ने सही register करके and they actually become ambassadors of that's viral.
So you're saying there's no toolkit per se for making content go viral?
But how do you know how you're making a hit movie? You don't know.
There used to be formulas for big blockbusters.
It's gone. It's gone. I think what really works today is if you write a piece of content that you are true to on digital, I think it connects. I think that's the advent of the content creator.
Okay, so there's so much of stuff, Vijay, that when you are around, one has to speak about. One has to speak about the kind of the business of content creation. One has to talk about content creation itself. One has to talk about also how the audience is evolving in this period of time and how this actually adds up to numbers, right? And I also want to very interestingly understand this TV versus online divide also with you. So TV traditionally has been a space which used to be a go-to for advertisers. Now more and more, including CEOs of the biggest media firms, go on record to tell their employees that TV is dead. Is TV dead?
I feel TV in its traditional format, much like advertising in its traditional format, is dead. Either dead or it's the end of days. Unless you find a way of re-engaging content strategy, I don't think it lasts. Like, let me tell you, I think today the days of just watching news, I believe, is over. I think you need a little bit of infotainment. That's what IPL has done. Why is Test cricket doing?
Which is what TBC is doing.
Didn't see you, so let's been throwing some entertainment in this. I'm the entertainment coach.
I'm the infotainment coach here, so I'll plug that in.
Real life example of green living. They first got people's attention and went a little bit viral because of the incredible AQI inside their home. It's a result of a covering that Peter has built around the entire house and garden so that the polluted air outside can't come inside.
Our audiences can't see this, but you've panelled out every area. The door behind us also, all the area above it is sealed.
Yeah, so this is the only door, the entrance. There's a veranda here, and all around the house we have a greenhouse poly sheeting which you can get from Amazon, different sizes. A structure has been made all around, the poly sheet is on top, so no outside air comes.
There's also a contraption to filter the air that does come in, and Peter tells us how he made it.
We have used a standard cooler panel, 6 feet wide, 8 feet tall. There's a pump that's pumping water into it all the time, and then there is a fan. This fan pulls in the air, so the panel is doing two things. One is filtering the air. So outside pollution levels are 500. Here, as you can see it, you're breathing fresh air.
And smell it, yeah. I just want to tell our audiences it's clean, it smells like we're in the mountains. It's a little chilly, if we can add.
That is because of the fan now. So, and that chili is beneficial in summer when outside temperature 45, inside home is 25, no air conditioning. And this air is coming here, is going through. There are fans circulating it, it comes through our house, there's an exhaust fan at the kitchen and it goes out. So we have fresh mountain air coming in through our house all day.
If Peter is the mathematician who has designed this entire space, it is Nino, his wife, who does all the growing. Clean air supports the more than 15,000 plants in this magical little space.
We have a 10 by 14 foot chamber, which in summer has the only air conditioner in the house because we grow lettuce, we grow spinach. These are microgreens. These are a powerhouse of nutrition. This is red radish, methi, mustard. Here's lovely bok choy. So these are all microgreens. That much vilified paddy straw is growing mushrooms. So here we are, we've got mushrooms. It's very easy to grow mushrooms all winter. You can put them in a corner in your
Well,
house.
I must say though, I love you touching on paddy straw at a time when paddy straw is called the main culprit.
Absolutely.
It's considered
So
the
we are
chief villain of...
we are using it. All you do is boil the paddy straw, kill any bacteria, fill bags and grow mushrooms.
The couple uses aquaponics to water their plants. They keep fish in a tank and use water from that fish tank to water the plants that are scattered around the entire property.
This is 5 feet wide, 5 feet long and 5 feet deep. This tank has 150 fingerlings of rohu, katla, mirgal, carp varieties. So now that fish is now about half a kilo each. They were put in about 8 months ago. They are about a half a kilo each. The other tank at the back, that fish is about 3/4 kilo each, almost a kilo each. By March, it will be over 1 to 1.5 kilos. We harvest that. We have a chest freezer. We put the fish in there and then we restock that tank with smell finger.
Peter and Nino's house is also a zero waste one.
All our food waste, which is the peels, leftover food, we throw into this drum. and to that we add this bio composter,
This is a biocompost
which is a natural bacteria. So this liquid we add, this does two things. One, it speeds up the waste decomposition and also prevents smell. So the beauty is we use our food waste to grow food again. Now isn't that wonderful? So now we've made it very simple. We add the food waste on top. We made a cut below in this old drum, and we can in 2-3 months we can take the compost out.
Only you can transition from Koi Yahan Nache Nache to Miley Cyrus's Flowers. You have done it for so many decades now. How do you keep it so relevant and keep it so alive?
Well, first of all, let me say it's wonderful to be with you on CBC. Namaskar, namaskaram, sat sri akal, salam alaikum. I'm so excited to be with you. What can I say? Because this is such an important thing in my life, really. And I'm sure all of you would agree that, as you said, decades, 54 years of singing some song like Fever and then California Dreaming and then, so many songs. And then suddenly you do Miley Cyrus's Flowers. But actually, it's not like that. I've always believed that a song is a song and it's timeless no matter what. And actually, retro is where it's at now. People all want to hear recall. And in my show list, it's always been that the older songs get more people more energized than the newer ones. Now, Flowers, and of course, songs with lyrics, okay? There was a time when I Will Survive was a breakup song for every girl, right? Gloria Gaynor's song. I was on my list, actually. In the batting order, it would have been third or fourth in the show. Then slowly what happened was, newer songs came, or I started singing Dawn 2 because I'd sung in that. Then I'd done Bulea. And of course, Dam Maro Dam and I Love You remain a constant, okay? It's always there. So when my daughter, Anjali told me, she just sent me a recording of what she had done, okay? Of Flowers. And I just thought it was such a marvelous piece of song.
Yeah.
That... and she told me that, Amma, why don't you do it as well? So when Anjali told me about this song, I just thought it was such a brilliant piece of lyric, really. I just loved the lyrics. We were right till we weren't. That line just says so many things. Built a home and saw it burn. There are some songs that really give me goosebumps just thinking about the lyric, And then when it says, why do we depend on everybody else to do things for us or make us feel good? And this one is not really a breakup song. It's such a positive song of Nari Shakti, really. Nari Shakti, Stree Shakti, and woman power, really. And on this Valentine's Day, I would definitely say that it's not just for the women, it's for the men as well. Why do we need somebody else to buy us flowers? Why do we need that? Or why do we need someone else to talk to for hours? Why don't we do it with ourselves? And, there are so many positive feelings in this song that it just became marvelous. So it came onto my repertoire list for the shows about maybe 2 months ago. And whoever thought that she was going to get a Grammy for this, and my rendition would become viral.
Congratulations on the fab job that you've done with Hira Mandi. How are you feeling? Has the entire feeling, the response, has that soaked in?
No, I don't think it'll ever soak in. I mean, when you're striving for something for 15 years, and there's nothing really. For 15 years there was nothing, and in the last 6 days, I mean, the kind of love and appreciation for you as an actor, first of all, the art, the craft of acting. About 6 days ago, my posts on Instagram were about 600, 700 likes, right? And this is about 14 years of hard work and doing many, many movies, and I was getting 600, 700. Literally, I'm getting lakhs. Each post is getting lakhs of likes. I mean, it's incredible. I thought Instagram doesn't work for me. I thought Instagram doesn't work at all.
So Instagram validation check. That has happened.
Yes, blue tick.
But tell me something. You're still blushing on the thought of getting so much reaction out of it. And Sanjay Leela Bhansali, the name is Hira Mandi. It's said to be a place where jahan heere tarashe jate hain. He's found 2 of them in this series as well. I'm sure it's been an eye-opener to work with him, but how did the interaction start? Did you have to audition, stand in long lines, or how did it happen?
I mean, to be very honest, standing in long lines. I remember the first time I came to Bombay and I did my course in acting and everything. But once I started auditioning, the maximum that time I remember I stood in line for 13 hours.
Wow.
Right, and it was not a big film. It was not like some Yash Raj or Sanjay Sir. Nothing. It was a very small film, but it was a film, and it was some work for me. So I stood in line for 13 hours. I remember 10:30 in the morning I was there, and it was right outside Infinity on the opposite side, Moria Landmark opposite. And and there was a line of 700 people, and if you leave the line, you have to go back. So I never left the line. So I just had to stay there. And as far as this is concerned, this is just mad hustle, man. Mad hustle. I mean, I've always said, you know, you can knock on 10 doors, 20 doors, the top people in the industry, but knock on 1,000 doors. I have knocked on doors of people who are like even makeup artists. I mean, I have knocked on doors who are nothing to do with directors or producers, from small to big.
Just to get an in.
Just to get an in, man. Just to get like, you know what, I'll introduce you to somebody else.
Hold on. So the Nawab that we've seen on screen is not quite the reality here. The reality behind the camera is one of a hustler.
Yeah.
That's a good revelation to find out about you.
Dude, I'm a big hustler, man. I mean, I swear to God, I know the value of one fan. I know the value of one contact.
Can you describe to me day one on the sets of Sanjay Leela Bhansali? When we think of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, we think of big elaborate sets. We also think of people like Ranbir Kapoor. We think of Sonam Kapoor. We think of the best of the talent that he's really got out.
Yes.
Was it daunting, especially with the amount of women around you and all gorgeous at that?
I would have to say that it was magnificent and very opulent and very satisfying to be on that set. Was I pressured because of the women or because of the other people? No, I wasn't, because Nasir sir ne ek baar kaha tha, which I believe, unhone kaha tha ki an unprepared actor is a nervous actor. Right? और मैंने पिछले 14 साल में मैंने अपने आप को बहुत ज़्यादा मैंने मेहनत की है. And I believe that being on set is my playground. That's not my work, right? The actual work is not there. It's behind the camera. It doesn't matter what you do between 9 and 5. It matters what you do between 5 and 9. That makes you.
We are here right now in the open fields of Haryana, and in just a few minutes from now, we're actually going to meet some of the country's top doctors, lawyers and corporate executives. But what are they doing out here in these fields?
Like this.
This is the Aero Modelers Association of Gurgaon, a group of super passionate men who get together to fly sleek, sexy planes that they've built every single Sunday.
Ready? Ready. Ready, sir.
It's a constant game of aerodynamics. Will the plane that they've worked so long on soar or sink? We spoke to Sandeep Jain, one of the group's founders, and also someone who just watched one of his planes crash right in front of his eyes.
That's part of the hobby. We crash sometimes and we go home and repair and come back the next Sunday.
Okay, cool. So it's literally that simple. It doesn't actually...
That's the fun part for the wife.
Why is it the fun part for the wife?
Because she has a laugh.
Oh.
The husband is at work.
Yeah.
Come back with a broken plate.
So just to keep things in perspective, the bigger problem here would be the diagnosing the problem. Why the engine cut? Now that takes time. That really needs so that it doesn't happen again. Repairing is not a problem.
The group is a particularly inventive and curious one. Right from Manmohan Singh, a former fighter pilot who'd transform crutches into a stand for his plane.
This is 1 mm, mainly 1 mm different.
To Ranjeev Dubey, a senior advocate who builds historically accurate miniature aeroplanes. To young Arjun, who comes with his granddad and cousin to watch the sky.
I really like to help assembling the planes,
Why?
even if I'm not going to be able to fly them.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's like I get to learn how to also, like when I grow up, I can also make planes and how to assemble them and how to fly them. So like right now, I don't fly these planes that much because they're really fast. And
Yeah.
I'm not able to control them, so I fly, I fly a glider.
If Arjun has gliders just a few steps away, the men are looking at what we are told is the biggest bad boy on the field.
Doc Vikram is now starting his actual jet turbine model. There is a jet engine inside which runs on aviation turbine fuel which you get from the airport. We've actually got that from the airport. And his turbine is spooling up and the sound is just as when you're sitting in an aircraft, passenger aircraft, when the engine starts.
Wait, let me just make...
Rohan, also, you know, there was a time when people said you should age like wine. Now they say you should age like Rohan Bopanna. I'm sure that's a great moment for you as well. But I want to take you back for a minute to that winning moment, to that career-defining winning point. Take us back to what was going on in your head at that time. We've seen those pictures where you just went flat on the court like that. What was running?
No, I think it was amazing, proud feeling, and most importantly, I mean, there was, you know, you end up carrying this like feel like you're carrying a burden of, you know, whatever there is. Everything just flew away. Rather, I would say flew away, and that's why I ended up falling right, you know, on that court. I mean, it was such a amazing, fitting feeling I felt after so many years of trying to get there. You're constantly trying to, you know, cross the hurdle, or as an athlete, it was a personal goal to get better from, you know, what you have done. I mean, you know, the finals was something I'd achieved before. Obviously, I wanted to get to that next step. The minute it reached match point, you know, there are nerves, and then Matt hit that great serve, and I had this easy smash to put away, and I was telling myself, don't miss it, you know, but yeah, thankfully we got through that.
Right. So, you know, this has been a very interesting year for tennis. We see the big three make way for younger names, perhaps, if I can call it. The conversation about age of the athlete somehow has taken center stage. And you are, of course, 43. Your partner, Matthew, is also in his late 30s. I wonder, is age a conversation among you guys? Do you guys often talk about it, on how to beat it, or how does it go between the two of you?
I don't think so. I don't think we have once, you know, really discussed that. The conversation is, are you fit, ready to go to the match? I don't think, you know, age has anything to do with it. And, you know, success can come at any age. I don't think it, you know, anyone has ever tells you at this age, if you can't get it, there's no more success going to happen. So that is where I, you know, truly believe the perseverance of, you know, constantly being out there, doing it week in, week out, trying and figuring out what was best for me to help the partnership. I mean, you know, back in 2022, when I decided to play with Matthew Ebden, I told my coach, you know, here's a great opportunity to play with a Grand Slam champion. I said, and 2022 I was not really traveling with the physio, and I said, I need to hire a physio. So luckily I found a great physio from Belgium. Her name is Rebecca. And when she came on the circuit for the first time, I said, see, I wanted something very specific. I have no cartilages on my knees. It's fully worn out. And what I want to do is really focus on strengthening even the days I practice. If I'm not feeling great, that's totally fine. But the days I play matches is where I want to feel 100%. So I think she understood that, and then she said, okay, we need to start a lot of mobility, a lot of stretching. I have this love-hate relationship with ice baths. I think, and today I actually love it. It's become no choice.
I'm Riya Granani, and one thing I will surely do in 2025 is start enjoying my me time again. In 2024, my goals were more travel and work related, and despite of filling my year up with those things, at the end of the day when I came home, I was lonely. And being alone is fine, but being lonely, no. So in 2025, I will definitely bring back enjoying spending time with myself, because I think it is such a healthy, independent and positive way of living.
Hi, I'm Anaita, and the one thing I will definitely do in 2025 is start drinking more water. We all know how important water is for us. It's great for your health, it's great for your skin, but for some reason I just don't end up drinking enough water, and I want to change that. So I'm going to set my alarms. I'm going to keep a bottle with me at all times and start with around 2 liters a day, work up to 4 liters a day. So I really hope I will make this happen, and if you don't drink enough water, you should do the same thing. It's a very low effort thing, gives you maximum rewards. So yeah, 2025 is going to be about my health.
One thing that I definitely want to do in 2025 is to learn how to drive. It's been on my bucket list for so long. Like, all I want to be is self-sufficient and drive myself wherever I want to, and I hope 2025 is the year.
Hi, my name is Muskan Rawat, and in 2025 I will surely visit my hometown more often. Because I live in Mumbai, I barely go to Jaipur now, which is my hometown, but I miss my mom and my sister so much, and they keep complaining that I don't spend time with them, which is true. So I'll maybe go more often, visit them more often, spend more time with them, and just have fun with them.
Hello, this is me, Divya Fufani, and the one thing that I'll surely focus in 2025 is focus more on making longer form videos, making YouTube videos. YouTube is making a heavy comeback. People are gradually shifting to YouTube again. People's attention spans are getting a bit longer. They're seeing more audience retention and more audience engagement in YouTube. So I surely want to make more YouTube videos, because honestly, longer your videos are, you gain more trust with the audience. You find a deeper connection with YouTube as well, and obviously bigger the screen, bigger the impact you will have, bigger the brand you will become. And that's why I want to focus more on making long form videos, be consistent with it, and yeah, explore things out of my comfort zone, try new things, and take India global in 2025. Let's go.
समता में रहने की एक आदत डाल रहा हूँ मैं, कि मुझे जो I'm gonna be in the flow. I'm if I get something good on television, I will surely pick it up. If I get something good on OTT or film, I will surely. But there are few directors whom I want to work with, which is on my bucket list, and I would love to work with them. Sujit Sarkar, Rakesh Umprakash Mehra, and one was obviously him. So these three are the directors. My favorite directors, and their films have been my favorite.
I want to see the Northern Lights. I really want to do that. I would love to go back to Rishikesh for rafting. I want to go this year. I definitely want to do one diving trip. I love diving, so I want to do one diving trip. I want to write. I really hope I can work.
And just like that, we've made it through the very first day of 2025. Now, we hope it's been full of new hopes, new dreams, and of course, plenty of laughter along the way. We're so glad that you started your year with us. Now, take a moment to reflect, to dream big, and get ready to make this year one for the books.
And thanks for being with us today, genuinely, for starting your day every day with us. TBC also almost completing a year, so we're very, very excited for 2025. And here's to an amazing year ahead. We'll be seeing you tomorrow at the same breakfast table for more breakfast fun. So Happy New Year again, everybody. Stay safe, stay joyful, and remember those New Year resolutions, let's keep them strong.
Good morning, viewers. Hello and welcome to the Morning News Show, where we bring you the latest headlines and insightful stories to kickstart your day. I'm Koina Sharma and you are watching CNN News 18. First up, on top of this bulletin, we're tracking some updates from Kerala, where the debate now surrounding Sanatan Dharma has now been reignited, with Kerala Chief Minister